Hey everyone, it's Yogi Wade. Welcome to our standing practice today. I'm going to link the sun salutations below and assume that you are already warmed up and ready for this practice. Let's begin at the top of our mat, finding a standing Samastiki mountain pose, lifting up through the top of the head, rooting down through both feet, feeling the core pull in, bringing those ribs in, feeling the side body engage. Breathing for a moment here as we find our standing posture, our flat back, the strong muscles engaged through the legs, through the arms. We're going to bend the knees, find a chair pose. Reaching those arms up above us as high as we can. Squatting those hips low. We're going to bind our hands behind our back and release our shoulders a little bit. Maybe feeling the back crack, maybe looking up. Straighten the knees, finding a bound forward fold as we release the neck and let the heart melt closer to the floor. Holding here, holding the bind, let's find the weight onto the right foot. Lifting it up and stepping it back. Maybe taking a bound warrior three. Maybe stepping back into our Anjaneyasana. Bring that back knee down to the mat. This time opening the heart as you reach for the mat beneath us. Bowing into that front knee. Try not to let the knee bend too much over the heel. We're going to bring our hands to our heart. Stand tall, lifting up to the top of the head. Bring the hands down to frame. Actually bring the hands to the inside of the foot. Taking a little lizard lunge as we're really opening that left hip. Releasing it down, releasing both the hips down to the mat. Melting into the pose. Letting the body relax. Letting the mind settle for a moment. The tension is leaving the body through that hip as it becomes more open. We're going to come back onto our hands, hook that knee over the shoulder, lifting that foot off the mat, and stepping it back. Finding a plank pose. Holding here, lifting that right foot up. We're going to bring that into the shoulder. Finding a three-legged plank. Holding this here, breathing here, and setting that foot down to the outside of the foot. Coming onto the forearms, finding our lizard lunge, bowing into that hip. We're going to prepare our hips for what is to come. Some deep breaths, releasing, maybe coming onto the knife edge of the foot, taking a hyper pigeon. Letting the body relax into the hip, feeling the hip open, and coming onto the hands. Tucking the toes behind us, sole of the feet, hooking that knee on the shoulder, and stepping it back. We're going to take a Chaturanga Dandasana. Lowering down, hovering an inch above the mat. And we're going to hold here for a moment. Just noticing how the breath feels in Chaturanga. One of my favorite places to notice the breath energy, because it's so prominent, because you so need the air to hold the muscles strong, to be firm in the body in this posture. Let's lower our heart down to the mat. Finding our hands behind the back. Opening up into our locust pose. Feeling that back bend, noticing how that back bend feels. And remembering how this feels. Lift the heel and reach the hand for the heel. Seeing if you can put this into your muscle memory. And we'll release, putting our hands beneath our shoulders. Savasana B, lifting up into our cobra, tucking the toes behind us for Ardha Mukha Savasana. Downward facing dog, pedaling out the feet. This time we'll lift the left foot out behind us and step forwards. Back knee comes down to the mat. We're going to bind the hands behind the back, Garudasana with the bind, reaching from the mat beneath us as we open up the heart. Deep breaths all the way down into the full diaphragm. Opening ourselves back up. Hands can come to our heart. And down to frame the front foot. We're going to lift that back foot up into a standing split. And then find Garudasana 3, the warrior 3. Finding the hands behind the back. And remembering how that locust pose felt to lift the heel and reach the hands to the heel behind you as you lift that heel as high as you can. Finding your balance, stepping ourselves up into standing posture. And our feet come back together. We're finding our balance, finding our stability. Let's come to the center of the mat. We're going to lift our right knee into the chest. Feeling how this feels. The weight on all four corners of the left foot. That right heel can cross over. Finding the eagle. Squatting into that hip, letting the both hips sink like a chair pose. And then lifting up. The knee comes into the chest. And we'll bring them back down. Let's test the left knee into the chest. Standing balance, crossing that left heel over the right. Our eagle legs, squatting down, real low. Testing balance, feeling how this should feel, and lifting ourselves back up. Knee comes into our chest. Bring both of our feet back down, finding a chair pose, letting the middle fingers touch the mat, keeping the hips at that height, and then lifting our hands up above us, bouncing the hips, breathing here for a moment. Hands come to our heart. Right knee lifts up and crosses over for the eagle legs. This time we're going to add the eagle arms. Arms come out into airplane. The left arm over the right. See if you can bring your hands together or the backs of your palms together. Whatever you need to do, but lift the elbows to about shoulder height. And breathe into those shoulders on the back body. Find your stability, find your posture. Find all four corners of that bottom foot. Hold here, strong from the core. And then we're going to unwind the arms, lifting that knee into the chest and stepping it down. Shaking out the feet. Maybe standing on the toes for a moment to release the tops of the feet. Finding the weight onto the right foot. The left knee comes into the chest. Testing our standing balance. Bending the hips as low as the chair pose. And you cross the leg over. The eagle squat. Opening the heart. Our arms come out into airplane. Finding our stability. The right arm over the left. Find the palms or the backs of the palms to mat. And lifting the elbows as high as we can. Finding our stability. Squatting here. And unwinding the legs. Unwinding the arms. Let's stand tall. Taking a moment of breathing. Let's release the shoulders in a windmill. Letting the hand kind of give yourself a pat on the back. And a pat on the shoulder. Be a little playful. The windmill pose. Should feel very childlike. Very free. Should release all the antsiness. We should let ourselves come slowly to a pause, feeling how it feels, just to breathe, just to stand, just to be. Finding our chair pose, squatting the hips low, arms come up tall. We're going to add the prayer twist. Hands come to the heart, left elbow comes over to the right, opening that heart to the ceiling as you reach the left hand down to the mat and the right hand grows tall. You can stay here in the chair twist, the revolved chair pose, Or if you can get your left hand down to the mat and your right hand about chaturanga distance apart from it, take a side crow. Because why not? Lifting in that side crow, feeling that the obliques kick in, breathing into the core, and setting yourself back down into our chair. Lifting the hands up overhead, hands come to our heart. We're gonna cross over to the opposite side, left side. The right hand comes down to the mat. Left hand grows tall, rotating the heart to the ceiling, feeling the revolved chair pose, breathing into the side body. Maybe staying here when you find your posture. Maybe placing the palm flat. The left hand chaturanga distance apart. And lifting those feet. Breathing into the side crow, into the side body, into the kidney. Wherever you are, noticing how it feels just to breathe. Sinking those hips. And then growing tall. Hands to our heart. Let's come back to the top of the mat. And bow. Taking a moment. Maybe a ragdoll, maybe grab the elbows, release the neck. Let it swing from side to side as we catch on to our breath. Finding more breath energy. Releasing our hands beneath us. We'll raise the right leg out behind us, standing splits. Holding that, stacking those hips. Left hand comes in front and to the outside of the little toe. As you reach the other arm up, finding half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. Lifting that, stacking that hip, stacking that shoulder, looking up at the hand above you. And maybe staying here, maybe revolving into our warrior three with airplane arms, feeling our stability, growing the arms overhead. Finding standing balance and our feet together. Taking this moment, finding our stability, finding our breath, becoming present, and noticing the more present you can become, the more balanced you will be in body and mind. So it comes from observing the body, every inch, and how it reacts to the breath energy. We're going to step this left foot back. Maybe taking our standing split to find that square hips. And we stack that hip on top. Lifting that left hand overhead. Noticing every inch of the body. Giving yourself a little body scan while we're here. Noticing the weight beneath you. Noticing how you are balanced, where you are stacked, where is your center of gravity. Put it over that foot, right in the arch of the foot, so it's between the toes and the ball of the foot. And then, see if you can lift your weight off of that hand. Find airplane arms, square the hips, warrior three. Holding here, hands come to the heart. Lift that foot up behind us. And then lift our hands overhead. Knee comes into standing balance. And we'll test our balance. We're always welcome to use a wall with the warrior three practice. Every day is a little different. Every day our balance sways like a little bit of a pendulum. Some days we just might find a little bit more challenge to overcome. And that challenge gives us an opportunity to release some of that tension and the antsiness and the instability from our body. Every time you fall out of a balanced pose, I like to imagine that whatever is out of balance is falling out of me. Let's find a tree pose, the right heel in to the hamstring. As close to the hip as you can, or below the knee. You don't want to go right on the knee. I like to get it right up tall. You can push that knee out behind you, really opening this hip. Hands come to heart. Maybe growing tall helps to find a dristi, a solid, unmoving point to focus on. Tree pose Vrikshasana, finding our stability. Knee comes into the chest, hands to our heart. Let's bring our hands to the outside of that foot and lift that up, cradling that hip, and setting the foot back down. Releasing, maybe taking that moment to get any of that tension out of the toes and the foot beneath us. Finding our stability, all four corners of the right foot. Standing tall, balancing the spine like a pile of stones. Imagining yourself perfectly still. Raising this left knee into the chest. Heel comes to the inner leg, as close to the hip as you can. Squeezing this in. So the more you press the foot into the leg, the more open the hip becomes. You kind of try to push this leg out to behind you. Really find the hip opener here. Finding our stability. Find our dristi. And grow our branches. Feeling the instability leave the body as we grow more in alignment, more in balance with the present moment. Maybe lifting this knee, hands beneath the foot, opening that hip as high as we can. And our feet come back down to center. Let's come back to the front of the mat. Taking this moment to bow. Lifting the tailbone behind us, releasing the neck, releasing the jaw. Exhaling out all of your tension. I'm going to place the weight into the hands. Step, hop, or float back as slowly as possible. Finding our plank pose. Solid plank pose. Flat back in the plank pose. We're going to lower down. Meeting me in downward facing dog. However you'd like to get there. Ardha Mukha Shavasana. Paddling out the feet. The right foot comes flat where the heel meets the mat. The left foot raises tall. We're going to take the right hand and lift it up. Our two-legged dog. Maybe take the hand behind you. See if you can grab the top of the foot. Become the dancing dog. Hold here. Feel how this feels. Finding the stability. Drawing the left hand to the right foot as you kick the left foot into the right hand. Feeling those leg muscles really fire up. And releasing the foot, lifting arm up ahead of us. Our hands come down, our feet come down. Meeting me in down dog. Maybe an extra chaturanga if you need to clear it out. And from Ardha Mukha Shavasana, pedaling out the feet, that right foot comes flat. The left foot raises, the right hand raises. I'm sorry, opposite side. Whatever's the opposite of what you did last time. Finding our two-legged dog, our stability on two limbs. Before you bend the knee, grab the top of the foot, kick that foot into the hand, push your fingers and toes and heel, the ball behind the thumb, everything pushing into the mat, trying to get as much height as you can, pushing that back foot into the hand, and the hand pulls that back foot up. And release. Maybe taking another chaturanga to clear it out if you're like me. Otherwise, meeting me in our downward facing dog. Getting ready to jump forwards, placing the weight in the hands, stepping, hopping, or floating into a squat at the top of the mat. Let's find this squat, this Malasana squat. Hard to finish a practice without a proper curl pose. So let's take this moment to find our balance on our hands. Find the energy in each breath of air. And put that into the arms and the hands and the core and the back and the shoulders and the chest. Feel yourself stable. Feel yourself present. Feel yourself fulfilling the form that you are meant to in this moment. Breathing each breath of air with full awareness. How does it feel to breathe? How does it feel to be alive? What am I capable of with the energy that this breath of air gives me? Let's set ourselves back down and find a seated posture. Cradling the feet. We're going to follow through with a seated practice in a moment. If this is all the time you have today, thanks for joining us today. This was a challenging balancing standing practice. Balance is always very humbling, and so I'm very glad you've taken the time to join me in this practice, to find that stability within us, to release the tensions and anything that's been weighing us down out of balance, finding ourselves when we leave the mat, feeling lighter, feeling more graceful, feeling more in alignment, exactly as we're supposed to be. The love and light in me honors the love and light in you. Namaste. Yogi Wade.